Okay. So how do you polish your stories? And the way you polish your stories is by doing three, I would maintain, counterintuitive things. The first thing is tell specifically what you have done. So not, I found many errors, avoiding many problems. Are you engaged? Are you attentive? Are you waiting to hear more? Well, you may want to know more, but they've already told you the whole story, but they told you in a very general way. How about when I was doing month-end reconciliation last quarter, I found a posting error in receivables and saved our department from having an audit exception by fixing it before the books were closed. Okay, that's a very short, might be a short answer in an interview, but I got specific. Now, one of the things that can happen is you can say, well, 75 things happened. I can't possibly include them all, nor do you need to include them all. What you do is you say, there are 75 things that I did here, one of which was to reach out to the accounting area in, I don't know, say stick with Topeka, and get them to change their entry before we close the books so that we wouldn't have an audit exception. So they know that there are 74 others that you haven't told them about, and they can ask you about them. And among the 75 that you have to pick from, some of them are going to emphasize some expertise that you have, and some of them are going to exercise others. Some of them will have to do with negotiation. Some of them will have to do with analysis. Some of them will have to do with research. Depending on what you're selling at that point to that listener, you can pick the detail that you want and use the same story in many different contexts. Oh, you know that story I told you about the audit exception that I avoided? One of the other things I did within that story was, and then you tell number two, and you'll only have 73 more to go. So here's another example. Oh, wait, first of all, let's see. So we are often paid in our jobs to come up with abstracts or executive summaries. That is exactly the opposite of what we want to do here. Exactly the opposite. We want to give the specifics, because the way the human brain works, by giving the specifics, the listener will develop their own generalization. So if in the specifics, like in the example that I gave, if in the specifics I show off certain characteristics, the characteristics which will be retained by your listener are the ones that they generalized from the specifics that I gave them. So it may seem like you want to save time and be efficient and give generalizations. Exactly the opposite. In the same period of time, you want to include specifics. The next is to say how you did it. Again, people leave out the middle of the story because what's important is the result. Well, the result is important, but what's more important and what will distinguish you from other candidates, other resumes, other introductions, other interviewees is telling how you did work. Even if you don't have an example that says where you did something wrong, the fact that you came up with a plan and you executed the plan and you tell them how you did it. I had to talk to this department. I had to do this research. I had to do these analyses. Those are the things that will distinguish you from other competitors.